The Days Without You. The room was quiet and cold. Sunlight came through the windows, but it felt empty. He was gone, and everything seemed to lose its warmth. She sat by the window, staring at a cracked teacup on the sill. He had given it to her on a sunny spring morning. "A little imperfection makes it special," he had said with a smile. Now, it sat there, fragile and broken, just like her heart. She reached out to touch the cup, her fingers trembling. Memories came flooding back, pulling her into the past. The days when they laughed together, when his voice filled the house with joy, felt so far away. Now, the silence was unbearable. She thought she could hear his laughter, faint and distant, but it was only her imagination. He was gone, and nothing felt real anymore. She remembered the day they met as if it were yesterday. It was in a small cafe, crowded and noisy. He had bumped into her, spilling her coffee all over the table. She had looked up, annoyed, but his warm smile stopped her. "I'm so sorry," he said, his voice kind. "Let me buy you another cup." She couldn't help but smile back. That moment had felt like the start of something new. Their love grew quickly. They spent hours talking about their dreams and fears. They walked in the park, watched movies, and shared secrets late into the night. He would read poetry to her, and she would listen, feeling safe and loved. Those days were beautiful, full of happiness and hope. But love, as she learned, wasn't always enough. Things started to change slowly. He forgot their anniversary 1 year. She felt hurt but didn't say anything. Small misunderstandings turned into arguments. One night, they had a big fight. She had shouted at him, her voice shaking with anger and pain. "You don't care about us anymore," she had said. He looked at her, his eyes cold and distant. "Maybe you're right," he replied. Then he walked out the door, leaving her alone. She never thought he wouldn't come back. The morning after he left was the hardest. She woke up, reaching for him, but his side of the bed was empty. The realization hit her like a wave, and she couldn't breathe. She stayed in bed for hours, her mind blank. When she finally got up, the house felt strange. It was quiet to quiet. Everywhere she looked, she saw reminders of him. The couch where they used to sit and talk for hours, the kitchen where he had taught her how to cook, the balcony where they watched the stars together. She avoided those places, but she couldn't escape the memories. They were everywhere, following her like shadows. She tried to keep busy. She read books, listened to music, and started gardening. But nothing helped. The pain was always there, a heavy weight on her chest. She began writing letters to him, pouring out her heart on paper. She wrote about how much she missed him, how sorry she was for the things she had said. But she never sent the letters. They were just for her, a way to hold on to him even though he was gone. Nights were the worst. The silence was overwhelming, broken only by the sound of her tears. She lay awake for hours, replaying their last fight in her head. She wished she could go back and say something different, do something to make him stay. But it was too late. Weeks passed, then months. The pain didn't go away, but she learned to live with it. She started going for walks in the park, where they used to spend so much time together. The fresh air helped clear her mind. She found comfort in small things: the smell of flowers, the sound of birds, the warmth of the sun on her face. One day, while cleaning the attic, she found a box of old photos. She sat on the floor, looking through them one by one. There they were, smiling and happy, their love captured in those moments. She held a photo of them at the beach, her head resting on his shoulder. Tears filled her eyes, but this time, they weren't just tears of sadness. She felt grateful for the memories, even though they hurt. That evening, she wrote another letter to him. This one was different. She didn't write about pain or regret. She wrote about forgiveness. She forgave him for leaving, and she forgave herself for the mistakes she had made. She wrote about the good times they had shared and the lessons she had learned. When she finished, she folded the letter and placed it in the drawer with the others. It was a rainy afternoon when he came back. She was sitting by the window, watching the raindrops on the glass, when she heard a knock at the door. Her heart raced as she opened it and saw him standing there, soaking wet. His eyes looked tired, but they were filled with something she hadn't seen in a long time: hope. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice soft and shaky. "I thought I could move on, but I can't. I miss you." She didn't know what to say. Tears streamed down her face as she stepped forward and hugged him. He held her tightly, and for the first time in months, she felt whole again. They sat together for hours, talking about everything. He told her how much he regretted leaving, how he had been too scared to face their problems. She told him about the letters she had written, about the pain she had felt. They cried together, but they also laughed, remembering the good times. Rebuilding their relationship wasn't easy. They had to face their fears and insecurities, but they did it together. They learned to communicate better, to listen and understand each other. They promised to cherish their love and not take it for granted. The house, once filled with sadness, became warm and happy again. They spent their days creating new memories, filling the empty spaces with laughter and love. The cracked teacup still sat on the windowsill, a reminder of their journey. It was imperfect, but it was theirs. Love, she realized, wasn't about being perfect. It was about choosing each other every day, through the good times and the bad. And as they stood together, watching the sunset, she knew she would choose him forever. Thank you for watching. Keep learning and practicing every day. Learn English through stories. Practice speaking with shadowing. Stay with us at Deep into English and improve your English step by step. Remember, easy English stories can help you grow. See you in the next video.